Listen, something major just happened in Nigeria that has everybody talking. And I mean everybody, from the north to the south, from government houses to marketplaces, and I need to break this down for you because this story is absolutely fascinating. So please, before we dive deep into this gist, do me a favor and smash that like button right now. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell because stories like this one, you don't want to miss them. Now, let me paint the picture for you. Imagine you are President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sitting in Nasser Rock, and suddenly you receive documents, letters, and appeals from all corners of Nigeria, all talking about one man, Nnami Kanu. Yes, the same Nnami Kanu who leads IPOB, the same man whose case has been making headlines for years now. But here's where it gets really interesting. Just last week, on November 20th to be exact, a federal high court sentenced this man to life imprisonment on terrorism charges. Life imprisonment, people, that's not a small thing. But instead of this being the end of the story, it actually became the beginning of something even bigger. You see, what happened next is what has everyone's attention. Suddenly, 44 federal lawmakers, and I'm not talking about just lawmakers from the southeast where Kanu comes from. I'm talking about representatives from all over Nigeria, both north and south, from different political parties, all came together and wrote one letter to President Tinubu. Can you imagine that? In a country where politicians can barely agree on what to eat for breakfast, 44 of them agreed on this one thing. They are calling themselves the Concerned Federal Lawmakers for National Unity, and they are basically telling the president, sir, we need to talk about Nnami Kanu. Now, before you click away or skip this video, stay with me because this affects every single Nigerian, whether you live in Lagos, Kano, Enugu, or Port Harcourt. And please, while you are here, go ahead and like this video. It really helps us bring you more content like this. Trust me, this story gets even more interesting. So, these lawmakers wrote to President Tinubu and they said something very powerful. They reminded him that in the past, the Nigerian government has sat down with militant and agitating groups in other parts of the country. Remember the Niger Delta situation? The government negotiated, they offered amnesty, and today that region is relatively peaceful. These lawmakers are asking, why can't we do the same thing here? Why can't we have a political solution instead of keeping this man in prison for life? But wait, there's more. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives himself, Nnami Kanu, this man is from the southeast, and he made a point that got everyone thinking. He said, look, if we release Nnami Kanu, the people who claim they are fighting because of him will have no excuse anymore. Think about it. Right now, every Monday, the southeast region practically shuts down. Markets close, people stay home, businesses lose money, all because of these sit-at-home orders that started because of Kanu's detention. Nnami Kanu is saying that if you remove Kanu from the equation, the real criminals who are just using his name to cause trouble will be exposed. It's like removing a mask and seeing who is really behind all the chaos. Now, here's where the story gets even more fascinating. And please, if you are enjoying this breakdown, hit that subscribe button because we bring you this kind of detailed analysis all the time. Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu, you know her, right? She's the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, and she's also the widow of the late Biafran leader Chukwuemeka Odumegwu. This woman knows what she's talking about when it comes to Biafran issues. She came out publicly and said she believes President Tinubu will release Nnami Kanu, but her reason was very interesting. She said that Kanu's release would actually expose the real criminals who have been hiding behind IPOB to cause violence in the southeast. In other words, she's saying some people don't really care about Biafra or whatever Kanu represents. They're just using the whole situation as cover to commit crimes. And if Kanu comes out, he would help point out these imposters. Now, let me ask you something, and I want you to comment below with your honest answer. Do you think releasing Nnami Kanu would bring peace to the southeast, or would it make things worse? Drop your thoughts in the comment section right now, and make sure you like this video while you're at it. But here's the thing that makes President Tinubu's position so delicate and so interesting. The man is caught between several different forces, pulling him in different directions. On one side, you have the Constitution of Nigeria, which actually gives him the power to pardon people or reduce their sentences. It's right there in Section 175. He has that authority. On the other side, you have the rule of law and the separation of powers. A court just sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment. If the president just steps in and releases him immediately, some people will say he's interfering with the judiciary, that is not respecting the courts. In fact, before the sentencing happened, one of Tinubu's assistants, Mrs. Chioma Wesley, she's a senior special assistant on community engagement for the Southeast, she made it clear that the president was waiting for the court to make his decision first because he respects the rule of law. Well, the court has made his decision now, so everybody is watching to see what President Tinubu does next. Will he use his constitutional powers? Will he tell the Attorney General to do something? Or will he let the conviction stand? Let me break down something else that's really important here, and this is where it affects your pocket, my pocket, everybody's pocket. The Southeast region is one of the most business-minded regions in Nigeria, I'm talking about serious commercial activity, entrepreneurs, traders, manufacturers, all kinds of economic hustle happening there. But all this insecurity, all this sit-at-home orders, all this tension, it's killing business. Every Monday that markets remain closed, that's millions and millions of naira gone. Money that could be circulating in the economy, creating jobs, feeding families, is just lost. The lawmakers who wrote to Tinubu mentioned this specifically. They said releasing Kanu and finding a political settlement could create the stable environment that the region needs for development and growth. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? How can businesses thrive when there's constant tension? How can investors come in when they are not sure what's going to happen next Monday or the Monday after that? This is affecting real people's lives, real people's ability to feed their families and pay school fees.